Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sophia Abdusalam. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this look using my basic bodies. So in short, I just want to show you how to draft a basic bodies. I understand you know how to draft a basic bodies, but I promise you, you are going to learn at least one or two things from this tutorial today. So kindly stay with me till the end. If this is your first time on my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Do well to like, share, and please subscribe. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you all. So without further ado, let's get started with the pattern drafting. So to start with, I've divided my pattern paper into two equal parts. This is because we are going to be drafting the front and the back pattern together. So you can actually draft your own separately, like draft the front and the back separately. But because I want you guys to see it as I'm doing it directly, that's why I want to draft mine together. So from the top of the paper, I came down by half of an inch. This line is going to be my shoulder line and it's also my margin line. And on the side, I went in by half of an inch. So it is just going to be my margin line as well. Okay. So the first measurement we are going to be imputing now is my shoulder to nipple measurement, which is 10 inches in this video. So I later realized that the 10 inches I used was actually short, and that is because of the bra I wore when I was taking the measurement. I just make sure that I wore the same bra when I was trying on the dress. So just wear a good fit bra and take your measurement properly, okay? So measure your shoulder to nipple measurement and take it across the pattern paper like this. So the next thing we are going to be imputing now is my shoulder to waist measurement for the back, okay? So my shoulder to waist measurement for the back is 16.5. Okay, so I'm just going to mark it like this and take it just on the back piece. Don't extend it to the front. Okay, so label your lines: bust line for the first one and the second one waistline. So the next measurement you are going to be marking is your waist to hip point measurement. So my waist to hip point measurement is 8.5. So I'm just going to mark that out now, and I'm going to label it my hip line. So the next measurement I'm going to be marking again is my shoulder to knee measurement. So my shoulder to knee measurement is 41.5. Sometimes I use 42. So 41.5 and 42 are almost the same thing. So I'm just going to mark it out on the back part of the pattern, okay? Like this. And I'm going to label it my knee line. Now, the next thing we are going to be doing now is to mark out our basic neckline. So I'm going to be sticking with 3 inches neck width for the back and 1 inch neck depth for the back, okay? So if you are on the plus size, you can do 3.5 inches neck width and 1.25 to 1.5 inches neck depth, okay? On the plus side. But if you're on the small size like me, 3 inches neck width and 1 inches neck depth is okay. I'll mark out my neck width. I'm marking out my neck depth now. So I'm just squaring it out. So the next thing I am going to do is to determine my shoulder slope. So to determine my shoulder slope, I will need my shoulder width measurement, which is the measurement from your one shoulder point to the other. So, and I'm going to divide it into 2. Mine is 15. 15 divided by 2 gave me 7.5. So I'm just going to mark it down like this and draw a straight line that goes through them. The 2 points I created. So now to determine our shoulder slope, you will need to come down from the top by 1.5 inches. Okay, so and connect it into your neck point like this. Okay, so now it is time to draw our neck curve. Okay, so just place your ruler. I want you to pay attention to the way I placed my French curve. Okay, just place your own French curve and draw out the curve. So now the next thing now is to determine our armhole, to draw out our armhole curve. But we can't do that without knowing our armhole depth. So to know your armhole depth, just divide your bust circumference into 6, then add 1.5. My bust circumference is 36. 36 divided by 6 gave me 6. Then plus 1.5 gave me 7.5. So I am now going to extend this 7.5 point forward. But to do that, I'll just measure what I have from this point to the shoulder line, then take it forward like this, okay? Measure what you have from the shoulder line like that and square it out. And I'm going to square out the line. Now, the next thing we want to do is to on how to determine our armhole curve is to impute my bust circumference divided by 4 on the armhole depth line. So my bust is 36, like I said, 36 divided by 4 this time is going to give me 9. So I'm just going to mark it on my armhole depth line like this. So next, I'm going to get the midpoint from this point to this point. Yeah, this way I'm going to get the midpoint like this. So midpoint of 7.5 is 3.75. Then I'm going to place my French curve to connect from the midpoint into my bust divided by 4 points like this. Now, our armhole curve for the back is ready. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go to my hip line, okay? You don't have anything to do on your waist yet. Go to your hip line. Then mark out your round hip divided by 4, okay? Hip divided by 4. You can add half inch just to create allowance for your bum at the back, but in this particular one that I'm doing now, I did exactly my hip divided by 4, but you can add half inch if you want. So this hip divided by 4, I'm going to mark it exactly on the knee line as well, okay? Whatever your hip divided by 4 is, mark it on your hip line and mark it on your knee line. So if you are doing a gown that is longer than this, maybe to your floor length, go and mark your hip divided by 4 on the length of your gown too, okay? Now I'm going to connect from the knee to the hip with a broken line. So this line that I'm drawing right now is just going to be a guide, okay? And I'm going to connect from the bust point to the hip point like this with a broken line. The next thing we are going to do now is to eliminate zip bulge. This is the back pattern and we don't want anything to give us zip bulge. So on the waistline, I am from the center back, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. So you can do up to 1.25 and you can do minimum of half of an inch. So this depends on how big you are at the back, okay? How big is your, the shape of the bum. So for me, I am doing 1 inch. So this 1 inch, I am going to go connect it to the neck with a straight line like this. You just connect it to the back of your neckline like that, okay? Like this now, just connect it with a straight line. Then from here, I'm going to connect into the hip line with a straight line. But to connect it into the hip, I'm going to go up by half of an inch. So this is totally optional, okay? I'm just doing this so that I don't get anything sharp at the back of my, at the hip area there. So right now I am done. So the next thing we are going to do is to contour our bum, okay? We are going to contour our bum and we are going to be doing that from the knee. Now, I cannot shape my dress or my skirt or my gown on the knee. If I do that on the knee directly, I may not be able to walk, especially if I'm making a pencil dress or pencil skirt. So right now I am going to go up from the knee line by 4 inches. So whether you want to do a straight skirt or straight gown or pencil gown, go up by 4 inches above your knee. I am going to connect the line like this and I am going to label the line above the knee, okay? I don't know what other name I want to give it, so give the line, so I'm labeling it above the knee. So now from this above the knee line, okay, from the center back, I am now going to mark in 1.5 inches. So now this 1.5 inches depends on the shape of your bum, okay? If you are big, 1.5 is okay, but if you're on the moderate side, 1 inch is okay. Moderate to small side, 1 inch is okay. All right, so but don't do more than 1 inch. 1.5 inch. I don't know if 2 inches is, no, I've never done it before, but it's okay if you can. So right now, I'm marking the 1.5 inches on the above knee, and I'm going to mark it on the knee line as well. Then I am going to connect it with a straight line. So if your gown is longer than the knee, like it's something that goes longer than the knee, whatever you mark here, mark it on your gown length as well. All right. So now I am going to connect from the hip to the above knee. To do that, I'm going to go down from the hip line by 2 inches like I have just did. Then I am going to connect it into the above knee like this, okay? Now I am done contouring my bum. So right now I am just going to use the curvy part of my ruler just to blend this area so it doesn't give me anything pointy around there. So now I'm done contouring my bum. The next thing I'm going to do now is to shape the side of my gown. Okay, now to shape the side of my gown, I'm still going to start from the knee or above the knee line. So now from this side, okay, this is the guide, the broken line that we did. From this line, I am going to go in by 1.5 inches. So this side here, you can do up to 2 inches, okay, but you need to consider how much you took from the center back to contour your bum. So if I had done like maybe 1 inch to contour my bum, I can do up to 2 inches here on the side here. Because I have done 1.5, I cannot do so much on the side again because I don't want it to tight me when I'm working. Okay, so whatever you want to do here, consider what you took to contour your bum. So for me, I'm doing 1.5 on this side, and you can do maximum of 2 inches. So now I can do maximum of 2 inches because I am doing it straight. You can do up to 3 inches if you are doing a pencil. Okay, so now to connect into my hip line, I am going to go down from the hip line by 2 inches, then connect it to the straight line like this. All right, so now I am almost done shaping the side of my gown. The next thing I want to do now is to create my dart line. Okay, to create my dart line, I'm going to divide my bust span into two, that is my nipple to nipple measurement, and divide it into two. Mine is 7.5. 7.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.75. So I'm now going to mark it from the zip bulge point. Okay, I'm going to mark 3.75 forward, and I will need to extend the line upward and downward. So to extend the line, I'm just going to measure what I have from the margin line, original margin line, to this my bust span measurement, and extend it like that. So just make sure you have a straight line that touches your hip and touches the bust line like I have just done. Okay, so now I am almost done with my back pattern. The only thing left is to shape the side, but I cannot shape the side of my dress until I have done up to this point for the front pattern. Okay, so now we need to draft the front pattern. Now to draft the front pattern, I'm going to be going in with my bust shoulder to nipple points line is already there. Okay, that is it. Then I'm going to draw my shoulder to waist measurement. Now for the front, my shoulder to waist measurement is 18. Remember, my back is 16.5. Yes, so this is because of our boobs. Okay, the shape of, we have, that is why the front is always longer than the back. There are some people that their own is equal. Okay, so if your own is equal, does not mean you are still okay. So now I'll measure from the waist to my hip point, which is 8.5. So now I need to impute my shoulder to knee measurement. All right, label your lines. Okay, now I need to impute my shoulder to knee measurement, but you notice that the waist are not equal. The waist lines and the hip lines are not equal. Now, and we need to find a way to solve that issue. If I should go ahead and do my shoulder to knee measurement like this, it will shorten the length of my dress when I am done. So I need to find a way around it to make it equal. So to make it equal, all you have to do is measure what you have, or you take your back pattern, measure what you have from your waist to your knee. Okay, then project it on your front pattern from the waist. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. I'll measure what I have from my waist to knee measurement for the back, then I am going to project it to the front pattern like that. I will measure from the waist. So if your gown goes beyond the knee, so to get your full length, measure from the waist on your back pattern. Okay, measure from the waist on your back pattern, or better still, for your front pattern, measure your actual shoulder to knee length, then add the difference between your front and the back waist length. In my own case, the difference is just 1.5, so I will just measure my 42.5 inches shoulder to waist, shoulder to knee, then add 1.5 inches. So whichever one you prefer, it's totally fine. So now I am done imputing on my vertical measurement. The next thing now is to work on my basic neckline. So this is the front pattern, and I'm going to be doing 3.5 inches neck width and 3 inches neck width and 3 inches neck depth. So if you're on the plus size, do 3.5 and 3.5. Okay, 3.5 by 3.5. So right now I'm just going to use my French cuff to draw out the curve. So the next thing we want to do now is to do my shoulder slope, and to do that I will need my shoulder width measurement, which is 15. Then whatever your shoulder width measurement is, divide it into 2, then mark it on your shoulder line and extend the line downwards like this. Okay, so now from the shoulder line, from the top, go down by 1.5 inches. So this is going to give us our shoulder slope. Just connect it into the neck point like this. Now this is our shoulder slope. The next is to get our armhole depth. To get our armhole depth, like you did for the front, for the back, we're going to be doing bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. My own gives me 7.5. So I'm just going to extend the line by connecting it into the one for the back. Okay, they are the same, so it's going to be on the same line. So now, to get my armhole curve, I will need to get the midpoint of my armhole depth like this. Then from this midpoint, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. All right, so from here now, I need to impute my bust divided by 4 on the armhole depth line. Okay, now my bust is 36. 36 divided by 4 gave me 9, and I'm going to measure from my margin line forward like this. Now it's time to connect the 3 points together to get my armhole curve. So just put your French curve and make sure you get a smooth line. The next thing we want to do now is on our hip line, we are going to mark our hip divided by 4. So now, if you added 1/2 inch to your hip measurement on the back pattern, for this one on the front, you will need to minus it. Okay, let's say after on the back pattern, maybe you did hip divided by 4 plus 1/2 inch, first just to create allowance for your bum. You need to minus it on the front pattern. Okay, so whatever you have, just mark it on your hip line, on your knee line, and if your gown goes beyond your knee, mark it there as well and connect it with a broken line. Then from the hip, connect to the bust divided by 4 points on the armhole depth. Okay, like this. Now it is time to shape the side of our dress. Now to shape the side of our dress, we will need the broken line we created as a guide, and we will need to go up from the knee line by 4 inches. Okay, from your knee line, go up by 4 inches and connect with a straight line like this. Then whatever you used to shape the side of your dress for the back, okay, I used 1.5. I am now going to measure it and mark it on the side of the front as well. All right, then from here I am going to go down by 2 inches from the hip line and connect it into the above knee line like this. Okay, now I am almost done with my front pattern as well. The next thing now is to get my dart line. To get my dart line, I'm just going to divide my nipple to nipple measurement into 2, which is my own is 7.5. 7.5 divided by 2 gave me 3/3, and I'm going to mark it and extend the line upward and downward like this. Now we are almost done with our pattern. The next thing we want to do now is to shape the side of our dress. Now to shape the side of our dress, the first thing you are going to do is from your center front, you are going to measure what you have on the waist. Now what I have here is 9.75, that is 9/3. Then you will go to the back pattern as well. Measure what you have from after the zip bulge line to the broken line that is on the side. What I have here is 8/3. Okay, just measure what you have there and record it down. We need to do a little bit of mathematics now. All right, now you are going to get extra sheet of paper and your calculator. I just need you to pay attention to what I'm about to explain to you. Now for my front, I have 9.75 on the waistline. Okay, 9/3. I'm going to record it down like this. Then on the back, I have 8/3. I am going to record it. Now I am going to add the two together. 9.93, that is 9.75 plus 8.75, 8/3 is going to give me 18.5. All right, let's just press our calculator so that we don't get confused. Measure what you have on the waistline for the front and on the back from side to side and record it. Mine is 18.5. Now my real waist measurement is 28. Now you know that with the pattern we have here is just half of our actual body measurement. I hope you know that. Now I am now going to divide my real waist measurement into 2. All right, my real waist measurement is 28. I am now going to do 28 divided by 2, which is now going to give me 14. I hope you understand the reason why I'm dividing my real waist measurement into 2 against 4. This is because the pattern I have 1/4 of the front and 1/4 of the back. All right. Now, we are now going to get the difference between my real waist measurement and the pattern and what we have on the pattern. So what I have on the pattern after addition is 18.5. Now, I am now going to minus my 14 inches. Now, which is now going to give me 4.5. The 14 inches is half of my waist measurement. Okay. Now, 4.5. That means that what I have on the pattern paper is 4.5 inches more than my actual waist measurement. So if you want to cinch your waist, maybe you want to take 2 inches away from your waist, instead of using 28, I would have done maybe 26. So if you want to cinch your waist, this is the time for you to decide. All right. Now, but for this one, I am not snatching my waist by anything. I want to use my exact waist measurement, and I have 4.5 inches to take out from this pattern paper. All right. Now, to take out this 4.5 inches, we'll need some to shape the side, and we are going to use some as darts. Now, let's first of all start with our side shaping. Now, to do our side shaping, the first thing you are going to do is the 4.5 inches we have as excess. Okay, the 4.5 inches we have as excess, you first of all divide it by 2. Okay, we are doing side shaping first. 4.5 inches is the excess that we need to take out from this pattern paper. We are now going to divide this into 2. After dividing it by 2, I have 2.25. All right, 2.25, that is 2.25. Now, this 2.25 is what we are going to use to shape the front and the side and the back on the side. So that means we'll still need to divide this 2.25 into 2 again, so that we'll know what we will mark on the side of the front and on the side of the back. I hope you are following me. So after dividing it, I have this 2.25 into 2. I have 1.125, which is one line, one small line after 1 inch. So I am now going to mark it on the side of my front and on the side of my back from the broken line. Okay, just mark it like this. Now, I will need, just mark it like this. Now you are going to connect it. Yeah, this is what you are now going to use to shape the side of your dress. Okay, what I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to avoid anything like guesswork when it comes to our dart taking. Usually I would have just done my waist divided by 4, then plus 1 inch for my dart allowance, or 1.5 inches for my dart allowance. But I'm not trying to do that here. I want to use the shaping and the dart allowance that come naturally with my body. Okay, now we are done shaping the side for the front. Now let's shape the side for the back. I hope you still remember. Whatever excess that you have on your pattern paper, after you minus your half of your real waist measurement, the excess that you have, divide it into 2. Whatever you have is what you are going to use to shape the side of your dress. So whatever you have, divide it into 2 again. Then mark it on the side for the front and mark it on the side for the back. Then use your French curve to draw out the shape. I hope you can see that our shape is gradually coming together. So now let's work on our darts. Now, to work on our dart, remember the excess I have to take out from the pattern paper is 4.5, and I have used 2.25 to do the side shaping, which means I still have 2.25 left to take out. If you are not sure, you can just measure what you have on your pattern paper after you shape the side of your dress like this and see what you have. So right now, I am measuring it so that you guys can see it. Okay, so after I measured, I have 16.25, and my waist measurement, the waist measurement that I'm supposed to have is 14. So 16.25 minus 14 gave me 2.5. So that means I still have excess of 2.5 to take out from this pattern paper. So this 2.5, that means 2.25 is what I'm going to use to do my darts. Now let's start our darts. Now this 2.25, you will need to divide it into 5. Okay, this is the reason why we are dividing. Okay, don't worry, don't let me explain that. Just divide it into 5. Okay, in my own case, I have a 0.45, which I can easily just approximate to a 0.5 inch if I want. but let's just continue. Now 0.5. Now for your front dart, whatever you have after you divide by 5, you are now going to do, my own is 0.45. I'm now going to multiply it by 3. Whatever I have is what I am going to use for my front dart. I hope you understand me. So now after multiplying by 3, I get 1.35, which is the same thing as 3 small lines after 1 inch on the tape. Or if you want to save yourself the headache, just approximate it to like 1.5. All right, just approximate to like 1.5 or reduce it to like 1.25, however you want it. So I'm approximating it to like 1.5. Okay, I'm not going to use this 1.35. I want to use that 1.5. So that 1.5 means I will need to take 0.75 inches dart on both sides, 3/4 inches dart on both sides of my dart leg. Remember, this is the front pattern. Whatever remaining, like measure what, after you do your side shaping, measure what you have, then divide it by 5. Whatever you have, multiply it by 3 to get your dart for the front. Now to do the dart for the, now to connect the dart from the bust point, I went down by 1.5 and connected it into the waist dart. Okay, then for the down, I connected it straight into my hip. That is just how I like it. Okay, if you like to connect your dart, you can go up by 2 inches on your, from your hip line to connect it. Now for the back, you are now going to use what we divided by 5, our result after dividing by 5. You are now going to multiply it by 2. So that is just you taking whatever you have on both sides of your dart leg. In my own case, after dividing by, multiplying by 2, I have 0.9. You will multiply by 2 rather, so which is approximately 1 inch, which means I can just take half inch on both sides of my dart line. All right, so let me, I don't know, if you don't understand, you can leave it in the comment section for me. I would try and explain to you better. So now to connect to the top, I measured from the waistline up 6 inches. I went up 6 inches from the waistline and connect my dart into it. Then for the down, I am going to connect straight into my hip line like this. So now the next thing we want to do is to take care of the difference between our front and back waist length. Now when I measured, I noticed that I have 1.5 inches difference. So now I need to take care of that 1.5 inches, and I need to do that on the front pattern. So from the bust line on the side, I'm going to go down by that 1.5 inches. Then from the bust point here, yes, this are my bust pan point, I am now going to go down towards the side front by 1 inch rather. Then I am going to connect it into the 1.5 inches down like this. I hope you can follow me, like just watch what I'm doing and follow through. Now we need to fold in this dart. What I'm just trying to do is I'm just trying to create a bust dart, just to make sure that by the time I am sewing my clothes, the side for the front and the side for the back are equal, so I don't have any issue when I am sewing. So now to fold in, I need to divide the paper because the side is too much, so I need to cut the paper. Now you need to fold your line, one line, and place it on the second line. Okay, fold it properly and neatly and place it on the second line. Okay, after you place it, you will need to use your hand to press it down so that it will form a straight line in the middle, which is going to be your center line for your dart. Okay, your dart line. So just press it down like this. Then you are going to take your ruler. After you fold it, you will notice that the line that is coming from the bust and the one that is coming from the waist up, they are not on the same line again. So you will need to take your ruler to redraw it. Okay, you need to redraw it. So just take your ruler and your pencil to redraw the line so that it will be straight. After that, you will need to take your tracing wheel and trace the one you folded inside. Wherever you fold, if you folded it up, that means you use your tracing wheel to trace it up. So when you are done, the tracing wheel will create like a small dot, and you won't be able to see it, but if you are doing your own, you'll be able to see it. So I just used my ruler to mark out my dark line that I folded in when I was folding. I don't know how to explain this part though, I'm sorry. but just whatever you have, just use your ruler to draw out the dot your tracing wheel did and the straight line after you folded your dart. So if you measured, you should have exactly the same thing you have on the side of your back pattern. So right now I am done with my front pattern. I can actually just cut it out now, okay? But before I cut it out, there are some other things we need to do on our back pattern. Now, the first thing we are going to be doing on this back pattern is to eliminate the second phase of eliminating zipper bulge. All right. So what you're going to do is from the center back on the waistline, go up by half inch, go down by half inch. All right. Now you are going to connect it into the side like this. We are just trying to create like a dart. This is my first time seeing this, using this method too, so I'm just trying to see what it looks like, how it turns out. All right, so now slash it like this, then place it on top of each other like this. So make sure they are equal on the on each point. Okay, make sure they are equal. Then you are going to need your paper tape to secure it down. So place it on top of each other, make sure the points are meeting, then secure it with your paper tape. So once you are done, you will notice that the dart is no longer straight. So you will need to use the down dart to straighten out the top, okay? So just redraw the straight line from the down, then mark out 6 inches, go up by 6 inches from your waistline to connect your dart, and just like that. So now I want to show you how to eliminate this kind of gaping you are seeing on the small screen on your clothes. If you don't do this, what I'm about to show you, the gaping is going to be very obvious at the back of your neck. So you need to do it. You must always do it anytime you're making a dress. Okay, so what you're just going to do is you're going to go in by half of an inch from the neckline like that and blend it into your waistline at the center back. So you may not connect into the waistline directly, but just make sure that you blend it into the waistline, into the center line, that's zip bulge line. Make sure you blend it into it and form a straight line, okay? But better still, just connect it straight into your waistline, okay? As you can, if you notice in this way, I didn't connect it straight into my waist. It's totally up to you, but just make sure it passes your bust line. All right, so this way we are going to eliminate all the gaping that we might have at the back of our dress, a big neckline. So right now my pieces are ready. All I have to do now is to cut them out. But before cutting it out, there's something else I need to show you. That is, I need to extend my armhole depth line. Okay, I need to extend it to the back so that you can see clearly what I am about to show you. Now you will notice that if I should cut this blue line, this gaping that I did, you will notice that this part of the pattern will no longer be there, and it is going to affect my bust measurement on this part. Remember, from the margin line I measured 9 inches, which is my bust divided by 4. But if I should cut this line like this, it is going to shorten my bust measurement that I did. So now let me measure what I have there from the blue line, so that you can see I have 8 and a quarter. That means I am 3/4 inches short on my bust measurement. If I go ahead and cut it like this without replacing it, the bust area will be very tight. So I need to replace it. So I'm now just going to measure the 9 inches, which is my bust divided by 4, from the blue line and take it forward like this so that I can redraw my side, the side of my dress. Okay, so don't forget to do this. Make sure you replace any shortage that you might have. So right now I am done. I'm just going to cut out the pattern as it is. Okay, so we have come to the end of this tutorial. So thank you so much for staying with me till the end. The video is already so long. I am so sorry about that. I just want to make sure you guys get all the details. So the next tutorial is going to be on how to cut it, how to do your dart transfer and cut it out on your fabric. So, and how to sew the pieces together. Now, thank you so much for staying with me. If you don't understand anything, you can just drop a comment for me. Trust me to always reply you as soon as possible. So bye bye, see you guys in my next tutorial.